about to go downtown.
Downtown, hey!
Downtown. You about to go downtown.
Good morning, good afternoon, good night, and welcome to another week's episode of Downtown Podcast. Now, don't waste no time with negativity. Today we have a very special queen in the building, okay? She's interviewed some of your favorites. She's been at some of your favorite red carpets, either virtually or physically, because now we have to say that because of COVID, right? We do. It's the new norm. And personally, just one of my favorites, I love speaking with like journalists and people just within that realm because I just find like the conversations sometimes just a little bit more juicier. So I'd like to welcome none other than DRIUNE Santana, journalist, today with us in downtown. Welcome, Queen.
Thank you. I like the introduction. You know, sometimes people just kind of go straight into the interview, no introduction or nothing. And I got to introduce myself. So.
Seriously? I never thought about it like that.
Yeah, sometimes when I am interviewed, you know, it's different being on the opposite side because you don't know what people are going to ask you versus how, you know. So it's a little bit different, but I've gotten accustomed to them because I have been interviewed a couple of times, honestly. So I just feel like, you know, people want to know who I am and what I do. So it's like, hey, why not?
Yes, in downtown, we definitely also like to get into why you do it and how you came about doing it. So we're going to get into it tonight. Now, first off, I want to salute you again, DRIUNE. Just everything you're doing out there, you're flourishing, you're working, and you're being in spaces that, you know, we must not take for granted. And we definitely must remind ourselves, like, the things that we used to pray for that we have now, you know, we have to, especially in a time like now, we just have to remain like grateful. At least like that's what I just like to like reiterate to everyone. You mentioned that, you know, being on the other side, ironically, I just had my first ever like interview and it was so nerve-wracking, but it was just one of those things where it's just like it was gonna happen sooner or later. So I was definitely happy I did it with who I did it with. Now, when it comes to downtown, don't waste no time with negativity. Just to start off, kind of like, let's just let it out, you know. What is a recent situation, or it doesn't even have to be recent, where you've dealt with a negative situation and you definitely could have went the other way, handled it completely like different, but somehow, some way, you found a way not to waste any time with negativity. You might have even surprised yourself, but...
Okay, so I would say probably one of the biggest things I would say I handled something that was dealing negativity wise. It was the time when I was working at the radio station. I was like fresh out of college, like 2017, and you know, just kind of being an intern at the time. And there was an encounter with me and one of the older gentlemen there, where he tried to kiss me on my cheek. And I wasn't too fond of that, and he got extremely upset. Like he started bad mouthing me, talking about like how him and his how he used to be a pimp back in the day, and his wife was like this here, and you know I could have, you know, and I was just like, congratulations. That's all I said. Wow. I was like, congratulations. I mean, I don't really know what else you want me to say to that. I mean, you proud to say that your wife is a guarding tool, like that's how you claim her to be. But teach his own. If that's how you look at her, that's how you view her, then that's on you. But you're supposed to be a preacher though. So you know, yeah. I mean, in my head, I'm finna spaz. But I was like, you know what? I just decided that I was like, you know, I'm just gonna go in the bathroom. I'm gonna stand in there for a minute. I'm gonna say whatever it is that I need to say, and then I'm gonna walk out like nothing happened. And that's exactly what I did. And I told my boss, I was like, to this day forward, I do not want to be in the same room with him. I do not want him to speak to me. Yeah. Otherwise, my mother will be up here because I'm not going to say anything. Yeah. So unless you want my mom to come up here and handle this, I advise you to keep him 6 feet or 12 feet or just in his own lane and not over here on the side of the road where I am. So that was really like one of the biggest things that I've encountered where I had to literally like, you know, I don't want to block my blessings by going off on the older person. You know, I want to still try to remain respectful, but sometimes you got to put these older people in their place too, because, you know, sometimes you have to, but not in a disrespectful way. But we know how older people are. If we say one word back, they think it's disrespectful. So
yep. Yep.
so that's one of the things that I'm happy that I grew from that, because afterwards, like a few weeks, no communication, not seeing him at all whatsoever. One day I had to go inside of the board operating room just to get my stuff out of there, and he tried to talk to me. No, sir.
Yeah,
no. The way you disrespecting me and you expect me to speak to you, no. Once I wash my hands with you, that's it. So that was one of those days, and I was like, yeah, okay.
Honestly, like, thank you so much for even sharing that story, because that's traumatizing, and that's like, it's a lot. And I feel like as Black women, we sweep a lot of those type of situations, and just sum it up as part of our everyday more than normal, myself as well included. I'm guilty of that. And it's not easy because there's so many factors. They're an older person. We don't want to risk our career. We don't want to risk losing our job. Nothing like that is just like, this person was wrong and they should not have done that. We're not quite well, no, we are not protected that way. So, you know, RIP Breonna Taylor. So, you know, thank you for just sharing that experience, and hopefully that will give someone else the encouragement to speak up, or to like, I don't even know how you saw through that. Oh my God. Like,
man, it's just like, you know, I've dealt with a lot of things in my life, with men in particular, and the things that they try to do. You know, if you tell them no, they try to, you know, push up on you and stuff like that. And, you know, it came a time where it was like, you know, wow, like, you know, I've never really had like an older person disrespect me in that kind of way. And it was just like, it was just like kind of off the wall how he just flipped out on me because I said, I don't let people kiss on me, you know, like, I don't know where your lips been. I guess that triggered him or whatever. It's like, I don't know where your lips been. You can go down the line. You literally went down the line and kissed every last one of these women that was sitting on the bench on their cheek, and you're gonna try to put your lips on my cheek. No, I don't do that. Yeah. I don't even like people touching me. So what makes you think that I was gonna let you do anything like that? Like that's in my personal space. That to me is sexual harassment, because you putting your lips on me and I don't know you in that form or way for you to even do something like that, you know. And it sucks that a lot of women do go through these things behind closed doors, and they choose to, like you said, sweep it under the rug, you know, in fear of losing their job, you know. But at the end of the day, we're human beings. You will find something bigger and better. I promise you. You will. It will happen. So don't ever try to, you know, try to cover up these men for the things that they do because you think that this is something that is a great opportunity for you. You will find something better. There was a time beforehand, this guy, I wanted to internship at a radio station, and he basically asked me out on a date to try to get to know me in order for me to get this internship. It didn't happen. Yeah, I got an internship with another radio station on my own. Yeah. So it's like, you have your options. You have a choice. You know, exactly. Don't allow these men to put fear in you over your career. Exactly. Don't.
Exactly. And they try to do it in sneaky ways like that. Oh, let's go out for drinks. Like, nah, I'm not thirsty. I'm good. Thanks, sir. Thanks. I ate a pot drinks at home. Yeah. No, seriously, it's definitely a conversation that needs to be had. And, you know, just being a woman in radio and having that experience, like, it's not letting people know what's up against them, but it's being aware, right? Mm-hmm. That how to maneuver and just how to operate in certain spaces that you're in, right? I wish that I had the courage like you to speak up at times in my life, and I'm sure many others. So let's definitely take your advice or your strength and just and just move forward. And thank you for sharing that vulnerability. Now, when it
Yeah.
comes to your path of just being in journalism and writing and interviewing, like if you could look back in your life and really like dig down and be like, where did this inspiration come from? Where, like, if there's a point in your childhood or something where you could say, you know, it kind of makes sense. If people heard what you were doing now, they'd be like, you know what? She did this back in the day. Like, this kind of makes sense.
Well, I think it'd be the total opposite because growing up, I was very shy, very timid. I didn't talk like at all. Like you couldn't. I was like a mime walking around here. You could not get me to say anything. And when I would speak, I would speak amongst like family or friends. As far as like speaking to a stranger, it took me so many years for my mother to stop ordering my food for me
Wow.
because I would not talk to people.
Yeah.
Order my food for me, I would not talk, and I just didn't, and she'd be like, you have to speak up one day. A closed mouth don't get fed. So it's like one day she caught me. I think we was at Subway, and we stood there, and she was like, today you're gonna order your own food. And I was like, Mom, why you can't do it? You here. So she was like, no, you're gonna order your own food today. It's time for you to learn how to order your own food. So it was either order your food or starve. You got two choices, and I didn't want to starve that day.
Yeah.
So but yeah, that's kind of started there. And a lot of people said I was great at public speaking. So when I would speak, it would shock a lot of people because it's like this child really has a great speaking voice, but she just doesn't speak. Why? Why? I mean, I don't know. I guess I was just very antisocial, extreme introvert to this day. So still, how does someone like me who has to speak to people on a daily basis, journalist, so a writer or be on the radio? I guess I would say that as I got older and I started to feel comfortable speaking, because there was a time where I did not like my voice, because I have a lisp and I talk with my tongue and people make fun
I
of
would have
me.
never known.
They
I would have never
I
known.
but it's like certain words that I say, they don't come out right.
I feel like that's everyone. Are you telling me I have a lisp right now? What's happening?
Not I didn't say you have a list, but it's like certain words. Like sometimes I used to have a hard time trying to say specific. I would say Pacific instantly. I couldn't say yellow. I would say lello. It was so many words that I could not say. And my mother, she really, really helped me out with speaking correctly. She would always correct me and say, no, this is how you pronounce it. Practice on it. And it really helped me a lot. Public speaking helped me tremendously. Like, just getting out of that comfort zone of be able to speak in front of a class and of people you don't know, and just being inside of the church and doing a lot of Easter speeches and Christmas speeches and seeing all this a lot as well. Like most kids, they read from the paper. My mom was like, no, ma'am, you're going to practice this and you're going to say it and you're going to memorize it to the T. So it was little things. It was little training and stuff like that really helped me who I am today. And even going into the YouTube route and doing like reaction videos and stuff, that really played a big part too as far as the on camera side and just speaking as well. So I feel that within my childhood, then growing up into, getting involved with public speaking and then getting involved with YouTube, that really played a huge part in the speaking side of me, where I do interviews or I'm talking on the radio. When it came to the writing side, I don't know. I was like into poetry. And I remember there was a time in high school we did like a Martin Luther King contest where you could do like poetry or do like a speech or something. So I wrote a poem. It was dedicated to my great grandfather. He's no longer with me. He died when I was in like third grade. And we were really close. So I wrote a poem about him and how his death affected me and stuff. And it won first place. And I was like, okay, I can do a little creative writing a little bit.
Yeah.
And I love English and I love history. Those two are my favorite subjects. With English, you write. I wrote a lot of papers, a lot of articles.
Yeah.
With history, I obtained a lot of knowledge. So that plays a big part in me obtaining a lot of knowledge, within the work that I do as far as like music, fashion, just the history of it and all of that. So it's really just the training from my mom, just writing a lot as a kid and in college, when I decided to, go over to the journalist side because that was not my first major.
Yeah.
It wasn't. I wanted to do criminal justice. I wanted to be a detective. I want to be out there on the
Pulling up
scene.
to the scene.
I feel like I want to pull up and like, okay, guys, what we got here today? What's going on?
On the gloves.
I wanted to be in the interrogation room, putting the light on them, like, okay, all right, now, listen, you can either go home today or you can go home never. You got two choices. So I wanted to be like,
Yes. Yeah.
I was like, being in the classroom in college and having to learn the basics, that's something that I did not want to do. Yeah. I hated the PowerPoint, boring and too long, and I fell asleep every time. 8 o'clock classes, I do not recommend for anybody unless you are an early bird.
Yeah.
This is what happened when you let your mom pick your schedule for you. She try to get you 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, I know I stay on campus, but I don't really want to get up at 8 in the morning, at like 7 in the morning to go to class. Like, are there any other options? Like 10 o'clock, maybe something. The later, the better. But yeah, that played a really big part with the writing and speaking side of me being a journalist.
Wow, what a journey! Like, you've said so much, and I hope, like, I know sometimes it's not obvious to people where the inspiration sometimes or the motivation in their lives, but you found your voice. It's like when you think about children, because I worked with children for over like 10 years now, and I know that child you're speaking of. They don't say much. They only talk to you if they really fucks with you. Like it's and I would say, like, enjoy those children more, because when they do have something to say, it's right on time. It's just what was needed. They definitely thought about it before they executed, because they don't talk anyways, And when you're speaking on that, it just hit like much bigger than even the situation you were saying, where it's just like in life, we have to like find our voice. It's so imperative that we have people in our corner. Shout out to your mom, because it's not always our mom or dad, right? So shout out to your mom that just really helped to push you and be like, all right, well, training wheels are off today, boy. It's time. And it sounds like she wouldn't have put you out there unless she felt confident that you were ready. So those are all like a lot of key things that I was taking away as you were like sharing your journey, And it's also a reminder to our fellow introverts out there where, look, DRIUNE is full out interviewing, talking to people every day. She's spoken to people like Mulatto, Flo Millie. I don't know what I'm missing, because you speak into pretty much just a lot of like everyone, everyone. And look, you're here telling us that you're really speaking.
It gets draining, trust me. We introverts, we have a shutdown time, That's why it's crazy that I hang out with a lot of extroverts. Somehow, some way.
They say what you're thinking. That's probably
my best friend. Where before she became my best friend, I did not like her because I was like, you talk too much. Like nonstop, like no breath in between, just yeah. And I'm like, okay. I told her, I was like, I don't
stress explaining this.
I was stressed. I felt like my edges were coming out or something. I cannot do this. Like, when do you stop talking? And when you go to sleep or something, you probably talk in your sleep, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, damn.
Man. But now I can tolerate her now because I'm so used to her talking a lot more than me. So I feel like she kind of gives me a little bit of a balance.
That's a
Because
relationship.
first, there is no conversation going on. It's just we all probably going to talk to each other through text messages, and that's about it.
That is a real friendship to me. The fact you say, I didn't really fucks with her at the beginning, but now,
She knows that.
that's fine.
My mom was like, "Why would you tell her that?" I'm like, "I have to be honest. I did not like her because she talked too much." I was like, "Who is this girl? Like, so random. Like, she talks too much." You know, I was like, "I guess or whatever." I deal with it eventually, and now I deal with it.
Oh my gosh, that was such a great laugh. Shout outs to the bestie. You know, being an introvert, I have a lot of introverts as well, but people like to make it seem at times or the conversations sound like the only people that can be entrepreneurs or on TV or in these spaces successfully are extroverts. But I don't agree because, as I was explaining earlier, I feel like introverts are actually the people with the upper hand, or at times, you know,
Mhm.
there's a perfect amount of balance that you can have. And maybe what's some advice that you could give to your fellow introverts that maybe wanted to get into the career of like TV and film and they feel like I don't speak up or I'm shy or like whatever the case is, maybe some hurdles that you found personally that helped you to get over, well, not even over, but help you to cope a little bit better with the way you were feeling, at least until you could get through the interviews.
Well, one thing that I would definitely say is that when you when you grow up, you know, kind of being that outsider amongst a lot of people, not really the popular one, but people know who you are. I kind of like that. You know, I don't want to be popular, but you know who I am. So I would just say that when you're comfortable with who you are and have the confidence to know that this is what you want to do, your voice will come out of nowhere, and eventually you'll probably never shut up, because as today I never shut up. I talk more than I did as a kid, and it drains me. So I would say that when you're preparing for your interviews, especially when you are an introvert like myself, um it really depends on how the conversation goes. Like, if you're talking to someone who you can kind of just talk to about anything, you can you'll forget that you be on a talking to this person for more than 30 minutes. The longest interview I've ever, and I mean ever, had was like an hour and something on the phone. It
Wow.
was a phone. It was like an hour and something. I was like, I wasn't drained because I was enjoying the conversation.
Yeah.
You But after that phone call, I was like, man, it's time for a nap. I gotta like get my brain back together
Yeah.
because it was just like, wow, that's crazy. But yeah, just focus on finding your voice, and be true to yourself. You're gonna have your days where you don't want to do anything. You don't want to talk to nobody, and that's okay.
Mm.
Schedule your, if you need to reschedule or something because you just not feeling it. I mean, see what if it's whoever you're working with, editor wise, see if that's okay, if they can just give it to somebody else, or you can what I normally do if I'm not like really in like a big mood, I push through it.
Yeah.
I just push through it. I'm like, man, today is just really not my day.
Yeah.
I don't really feel like doing anything. I don't want to do anything.
Bro,
And
we
I've
days.
had that moment where I was like, man, I really don't want to do this interview. Like, I'm about to call my editor and say, man, can we reschedule this? But I was like, no, I just need to go ahead and just do it because right now this is just a temporary mood that I'm in, and eventually it'll go away, and the happy little me will just come back to normal. So just literally just push through it. Find your voice, push through it, and be confident in it. There are a lot of people in media. there's a lot of people in media, or reach out and talk to people, who you feel kind of aligns with what you do or want to do, and get some advice from them if they respond. Because sometimes people bougie and they do not respond. But if you want me, you can always talk to me. Like,
Yeah.
I'm good to go. We can talk about anything. Just don't get out of hand. Just do that, because then I'm gonna have to go into my little shell or something. I'm about to go in my little shell. Well, after that, because I'm like, okay, it's getting weird.
Funny. Oh my gosh, I cannot. Like, I cannot. Okay, you're my bestie in my head right now. Seriously, I cannot. You are hilarious. But like, it's everything you're saying is 100% real, and that's what I was describing to someone the other day. Like, I talk to celebrities here and there, but the conversations that I really do enjoy is speaking to people like yourself, the real people out here, just like, it feels a little bit more realistic to me. You guys go through some things in life that people can more relate to and understand that your dreams are not, they're not crazy. It doesn't sound crazy. Yesterday I had an Instagram live interview with this young man journalist from my city, Toronto, Canada. And we were speaking on the topic of limitless, and I started even manifesting to myself, like, I am done limiting myself. Like, I want it all. I want the things I can't see, the things that, like, I never even expected. Like, I was describing, sometimes when they say, oh, a door just comes out of nowhere, I'm picturing like a white space and the door just appears and you open it, it's just flooding with blessings. We have to call those things into our life. We have to start limiting ourselves, because I feel like in our past, I could speak for like my family and being from Caribbean descent, like, that's how my parents, they were trained to limit themselves, to just find one thing you're good at and that's it. So now it's our turn to really live the life that they couldn't, and help our family and our legacies to like flourish and just move beyond. I'm always big on breaking generational curses. So that's something that
I agree, because like my family, they're Dominicans, not Dominicans, they look crazy or whatever, but they look crazy, they loud, they do all types of things. But I feel that with me, I kind of broke that curse, because like,
amen.
she always wanted me to go into like computer science. Like, she's like, well, you like computers? I was like, yeah, I love technology, but I don't want to sit in a computer and tell somebody how to fix it, But they make a lot of money. I'm like, but it's gonna make me happy. I'm not, if I tell her, it's like, I move by my emotions. I am a Cancer. Okay, I move by my emotions. Okay, if I'm not feeling something, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, that is Cancer energy all day.
Like, I'm doing it. There is no way that you can persuade me otherwise. I'm not doing it. So it's just like, she wanted me to, kind of be like the office behind the desk. And I always tell her, I was like, Mom, not everybody is meant to be sitting behind the desk. I mean, if I'm gonna sit behind the desk, I mean, I at least want to own what I'm doing. I want to be the boss. So I broke that curse, and then I broke the curse of, at that time there were no grandchildren who were like college graduates on my mom's side of the family.
Yeah.
And even on my dad's side of the family, I would say that, well, as far as I think great grandkids, I think I was like the first one on my dad's side, and then I was the first grandchild on my mom's side of the family to go to college, graduate. And I have an older cousin. I'm like the second oldest cousin, and it's like, then my other cousin, they follow behind me. So everybody follow behind has a degree, except for my youngest one. He went off to the military. So, he may be doing his thing over there. Yeah. But as far as like, after me, I feel that I broke that, well, wow, we're gonna have to wait for somebody else to get a college degree. Who knows who's gonna be, and have that, I felt that, that was a lot of pressure on me, because it's like, wow, what if you don't get this degree and then you're gonna fall right in line with everybody else who went to college and then finished. So breaking that curse for me, that was I would say amazing. It was a sort of a feel good accomplishment to know that, you know, not even just on bragging, where I just say that you're the first grandchild to do that. I mean, they're gonna always say that anyway. So I don't
They
because
will. My grandbaby.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I feel that I took a different route. You know, like my brother and my sister, you know, they work, you know, like regular jobs. I'm the only child that wanted to be just. I really don't even know how I fell into journalism. I just knew that I was so caught up in like celebrity lives and stuff, and I was
Yeah.
like, okay, you know, and you know, when I changed my major over to journalism, I had no experience. I just knew how to write. You know, I had no experience. I had no idea that this was a whole different kind of world over here. That it gets just as catty as a 9 to 5 job does.
Yeah.
So this was all new to me. I thought that, you know, everybody got along, everybody's like on the same page, everybody here to see each other grow, and these people just as shiesty as somebody who worked at McDonald's or something. So it was it was like crazy to me for that. But yeah, you know, just breaking that curse, and I had to learn how to not limit myself either.
Mm.
I limited myself to just wanting to just write, not speak. And if I did choose to speak, it was just like I didn't speak much. I didn't say much. It was just, man, okay, yeah, maybe 3 sentences out of me,
Yeah.
and that's about it. I kind of just started to like just feel that I needed to just write for everybody in order to get to these places that I need to get to.
Yeah.
And now I'm at that stage where I'm no longer going to limit myself, like you said, not limiting myself anymore. I'm going to do whatever I can to build something of my own, so that when you see me at these different red carpet events, you're gonna see the culture commentator.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
me. That's gonna be what it is. And the fact that it actually started for me last year, like towards the end of November, is when it started for me. And it's going to be a journey, because it's going to be something of my own that I've kind of had since 2018.
Yeah.
20, it's either 2017 or 2018 since I had that website, but it wasn't called the Culture Commentator. It was really just DRIUNE SANTANA. It was more so just a website for my writing portfolio, because the first publication I was writing for fired me.
Yeah.
So,
It happens, girl. That's honest. It's honest.
yeah, it does happen like that. And you know, it because that was the first publication that gave me an opportunity to start my career. And it sucks how it ended, you know, how me and the other editor, you know, ended our relationship.
Yeah.
But it took me a moment to realize that, okay, what do I do now? I was in that, well, what the hell am I gonna do now?
Limbo space. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I don't know anybody. I don't have that many resources. I live in Mississippi. What I want to do is bigger than this state.
Yeah.
And it's like I was like, I had to figure out something. So this is when I took the portfolio that I had from the publication that I was writing for like 2 years, all the work that I did, I created a portfolio for it, and I just sent it out to people, different publications, hoping to hear something back. To this day, I have written for 9 publications since 20. 9 publications I've written for. Just going off of that leap of faith and not limiting myself.
Yes.
Because if I feel like I did, then I don't think that I would have gotten this far.
Yes.
I don't believe I would have. And last year, it made 5 years for me of being a journalist, you know.
Gotcha.
And I was, wow, this is 5 years,
Yeah.
a decade. And I'm still here, still pushing, even when I felt like, man, I don't think this is for me. I had moments where I lost motivations and passions for it. And I was like, man, I really feel like giving up.
Yeah, well,
I don't want to do this anymore. But the support system that I had, they pushed me to not stop doing what I was doing. They pushed me so hard, you know, and I'm so grateful for the support system that I do have, because if it was not for them, I definitely would have probably just been working a call center, listening to people here tell me how their light bill is skyrocket high and they don't understand why. and I refuse cursed out every day about why your light bill is too high and why is it cut off. I don't know. Okay, I just know that if you pay the bill, your light on. If you don't pay the bill, it ain't on. What you want me
That's simple. That's simple.
What you want me to do?
That's simple. No, you. I don't want to gloss over like everything you said, and there's no way I can like just go over it. You know, you mentioned we have to push through it. Major key. Or at downtown, as we like to say, eat fruit and mind your business. Major fruit. Okay, you have to push through it. You have to find your voice. Like if you want to build your own table, do all of this, you're gonna have to find your own voice. As well, is this what's gonna make me happy? You know, a huge part of the conversation for a lot more than the normal these days, which I'm very happy for, is the things that truly make us happy. That self-care, that mental health. You know, I was originally supposed to go to school to be an accountant, but I ended up being a social worker. And then now I built my own digital media network. Like, you must follow your path. You must be authentic to yourself. You must do the things that make you happy, or else you will forever feel incomplete. I don't want to leave this earth feeling incomplete. Not to say all of the things that we do will make us feel complete, but we at least would like to try.
Right.
Fair enough to say. And another major key that you said, DRIUNE, because you're just giving it tonight, is take a different road. Listen, sis, if you're driving on the road and you're getting into all them potholes and you can't see, and take a different route. Switch lanes, keep on your road, but like take a different route, and that's okay. Like I was saying to someone, like, you're never too old to go to school, you're never too old to learn things. Take a different route. And that's a part of that limitless mentality we were speaking on earlier. Now, sorry, we do have a staple question here, another staple question that we do ask here at Downtown, don't waste no time with negativity, is you have the 4 elements. It is earth, fire, air, and water. Which element do you feel like represents you the most, or you resonate with the most, and why?
Oh, science. I love science. My favorite part about science is dissecting.
I cannot.
I was the first one with my hand up. I was like, you know what? Y'all can sit back and watch. I do the dissecting. Y'all don't have to do nothing. This is my y'all can just watch and learn. I guess
it isn't really science though. Like whatever you just oh my gosh. I don't think I've ever laughed so hard during any interview I've ever done. Literally, like, thank you. If there was ever a day I needed a laugh, it was today. Thank you.
This is me 24/7. Like, you can ask my friends, I'm always, they consider me to be corny or whatever. And I'm just like, man, I barely like y'all. So y'all to be enjoying this corniness that you're getting right now. Because this is literally 24/7 all day, every day with everybody. Well, not everybody, but certain people. I'll have to fill you out in order for you to get this. Otherwise,
I live for sarcastic humor all day.
I'm very, very, very sarcastic.
And that's the part that I love. Like, your face is so straight and you're like, we're doing science.
We're on the science. Okay. let's see. I don't know. I guess I would if I was speaking about like my passion for the work that I do, I would definitely say fire.
Mm.
Fire because it I'm coming through like flames. Like it's about to
Mm.
be burning up. You about to be sweating. Yeah, my face is right now. My nose is like sweating over here. This is exactly where we getting at right now.
That was a highlighter, girl. I didn't even know.
So, but I
Looking
also
amazing.
thank you. Like, listen, this is awesome. But I will say that I do, although I resonate with fire, I do resonate with water because sometimes when I'm coming down from being so high up, the water to get out those flames is a way to kind of calm me down and allow me to reflect on my accomplishments and my failures.
Yeah.
Allow me to cool down and become relaxed and back to reality. Understanding that you know this is my life. This is what I chose to do. This is my passion. This is my path. This is what my purpose is that God put in front of me.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, there was a moment where I did not know. There was a moment where I don't even think I was supposed to be here anymore. And I tell you that because I would say, probably 2014, 2015. I was in college still, and I had got into it was Super Bowl night, February 1st. I was leaving work and I got into a head-on collision with a drunk driver. In most cases, the person who was hit by the drunk driver, I was
Doesn't.
sitting here right now. In most cases, the person who is they're no longer here, no longer living. However, it became the opposite. It was the roles were reversed.
Wow.
I was here, but the drunk driver, he's no longer here.
Wow.
And it was something that it was like it really just kind of like I can't really explain it, but it was just like I didn't I guess I was I didn't really understand. I didn't comprehend like, okay, what is going on right now.
Yeah.
My car is the battery in my car completely exploded, all the airbags are out, but somehow I'm out the car trying to figure out what is going on. Like I don't feel like
Wow.
it was like my adrenaline was so high. I got out the car so quickly. I don't even know how I got out the car. I don't remember turning my wheel.
Yeah.
None of that. Like I don't remember. All I remember was lights coming at me, and that's it. I do not remember turning my wheel, but I do remember beforehand I saw a guy walking past past my car in the opposite direction. And I don't know like what was going on, but it happened that way. And when they went over there to check over the guy, he was like passed out, and the way that I was going back home, they have this curve and they call it the dead man curve. And not for it to be cliche or whatever,
Yeah.
but that's called. And in that moment, it was just like I just didn't understand. I was so like mentally messed up to the point where it was like that situation really took a toll on me because I didn't have any broken bones.
Yeah.
I didn't have any fractures. Nothing of that nature. The only thing I had was like my lower stomach. It swelled a lot because of the seatbelt. I got locked in the seatbelt, so when it happened, so it was like the seatbelt. It like my whole lower part of my stomach was like this big, And still to this day, I have like a hematoma. It's like right here, this size, and it's on my left side. This is my left hand. It's on my left side, and it's still there. So it's like it's there, and it's like something that I sometimes will like touch or just be like, wow, like this is all that I was left with was that, and it's like this is something that's going to stick with me forever. It won't go away. It will never go away. It's something that will always be there. So in that time, I was just like, I didn't understand. You know, my mom, we talked a lot about it, and I actually gave this testimony in church. And, you know, just literally it happened that in that time, it was recent when I gave my testimony, and it was like I couldn't even get through it. Like I couldn't even push myself to kind of like tell the church exactly what happened to me and why I can't stand up in church, or why I have to bring something with me to support my back. Because my chiropractor told my mom that if she never had brought me in the next day, I would have been went into like rigor mortis. Like my whole body would have been like stuck. That's how impactful this was, to the point where I could barely move. Like I was like really, really slow. It took a minute. My back hurt, my leg, my knees hurt. I was just, it was just like, you know, the aftermath was different from my first accident. And this one here was just like, man, like it was just crazy, you know, and it, you know, and then when I found out what happened to him, it made it even worse, you know. So it made me feel like I was like, man, like I couldn't sleep. I withdraw from all of my classes because I couldn't focus, because that night just kept playing over again in my head, in my head, in my head. And it was like, what is my purpose? Like, why did God choose me to still be here? Not that you're supposed to question him, but sometimes
it's honest, it's real.
Yeah, it's
We're
like
not supposed to, but we do at times.
Yeah, and it's like you just sit and you just think about like, why me? Like, why did this happen to me? Like, what did I do for this to happen? Like, you know, why was I chosen for this, and why was I chosen to stay? And sometimes think about that, it changed my whole narrative about life and my life in general. That the person that I was before the accident, I'm no longer that person now. I guess I was doing some wild, crazy, rebellious things at that time, but then again, I was young too. Um, to fast forward, after, everything about me changed. My attitude, I became a lot calmer. I wasn't as aggressive as I used to be. It's just like that whole thing resonated with me. It just really I felt like it just maybe just knocked some sense into me, if that makes sense. So, you know, dealing with something like that and still being here to be able to do something that I found a love and a passion for, that is a blessing and a disguise for me. And to walk out with no broken bones or anything, or even losing my life, that is let me know that, okay, I do have a purpose to be here.
Definitely.
What is it? I don't know what it is, but I think I found it. And being a journalist, being a part of the media, being able to tell other people's stories through my words, through conversation, shifting the culture through entertainment, music, and lifestyle. That's the tagline for the Culture Commentator. That's exactly what I want to do. And here it is. It's happening. So hopefully this legacy of who DRIUNE Santana is goes very, very far, to the point where
it will.
to the point where people just like, girl is real. This, like, I don't talk about these things because, like, I don't want people to, you know, feel that, you know, you got to be sympathetic towards me. You know, I dealt with it. It's done. It's over with. I've moved forward. I have probably not even talked about this since I gave like my testimony or whatever. And, you know, or even just, you know, being in that mode of just not understanding things. So I've come to terms with a lot of different things, and a lot of things that I've dealt with in my life as a kid, growing into an adult. All those things build me to be who I am today. You know, and a lot of people don't know that because I'm very private. I don't tell that side of me or anything, so people wouldn't know. So if people watch this, they're gonna know a lot of things about DRIUNE Santana that they've never heard before. I've never seen me speak about, you know, to other people, besides like family and friends. But other than that, this will be new to everyone. You'll see like this side of me that is not on social media or is not shown through my work, because I like to keep it separate, you know, unless I just feel like I just want to vent and talk to people about it. And she's like, this is things that I dealt with. I don't talk about it because it's not what made me. You know, I don't use that as my story. I don't use that to hold me so that I can be attached to the bad things that happened to me. I want to be attached to the good things. I want people to remember for the good things that I've done, not, oh, well, she had a terrible accident with a drunk driver. Let's tell this story. I mean, I could talk about it because there are families who have lost their kids.
Part of your journey. Yeah.
Yeah. People have lost their family members, their kids, their everything to drunk drivers. And for me, and what's crazy about that is literally a week later, literally maybe a few months later, there was another incident where a young lady and another drunk driver, except her life was taken away and the drunk driver was still alive. So it's like thing that had happened, it brought all of that back, and it was like, man, that could have been me. That really could have been me. And the girl, she was like 22 years old, and I think I was probably around the same age as her, 22, 23. So it was like all of that happening, it brought back every emotion that I had that I can't try to like wipe away. It brought it back. Definitely. Now like I said, now that I feel like I found my purpose, know what my purpose is, I'm ready to take off. Here I am.
Here I am.
All 2021.
Wow. Like, thank God that you are here today, because like you said, there's numerous stories. R.I.P. Sheldon, we grew up together. We went to the same church together. I would even say friends, family, because we literally grew up in church together. And he was a young man, really doing his thing in the city, and he'd always take care of his family. And he worked an overnight shift at his job. And on his way home, he was tired, fell asleep behind the wheel, and ended up colliding into the back of like a huge 18-wheeler truck. So I completely resonate with everything you're saying. And that survivor's guilt is real. Especially when you go through something and you feel as if like you're unscathed and you're seeing all these things happening in the world, and you're just like, why me? Like, what's so special? Like, it could really dig you into some deep places, and people, when people express things like that, people shouldn't say to them, oh, well, you're fine, you should be thankful, and just like, that's a form of like dismissal, because that isn't always feeling fine. That's a serious like mind fuck, if that's okay with you. Like,
it does do that to you, like I people say, well, I don't want to say hate, that's a strong word, but dislike people who, just make you feel like you just, well, things happen to everybody every day, just, you'll be fine, you'll be okay. But are they really? You tell someone that and they're actually not fine. They try to put it in their mind like, you're right, I'm fine. You're not. Don't pretend to be. That could literally kill you.
Real danger. Yeah.
You're endangering your own health by telling yourself that you're okay when you're not. Find someone or find something that helps you vent in a way that you can let out every emotion that you have and not have to hold it in. And that's something that I had trouble with, holding in all of my emotions or how I feel about things, to the point where it was like, I feel alone. I don't know who to talk to. You can't talk to your parents sometimes, and you don't want to talk to your friends because you don't want them to think like, oh, she might be a little crazy or something. We might need to, get her some psychological help. And I don't want it. I never wanted it to be that way. So, my mom, she always tried to be like, you want to go to therapy? You want to talk to somebody? I was like, no.
Yeah.
I really didn't want to go talk to someone. I was in that stage of, I didn't know how to handle it or what I wanted to do. So
that's real.
I don't even know how I even got over. I guess me actually giving that testimony in church, which really helped me just full blown just talk about it. church in tears along with me. You know, I mean, because everybody in my church, they look at me as like the nice, sweet, quiet girl because I don't talk in church like at all.
Yeah.
Don't even utter a word unless you ask me a question. That's about it. But other than that, I sit there, I don't talk. I really don't like when they say everybody, you know, shake hands with your neighbor. I'm like, oh, this is one of these introverts moments that I don't want to be a part of. And my mom, she makes me get up and do it anyway. And I'm like, okay, all right, I get up and do it. And I sit right, I shake like two hands and I sit right back down. That's enough.
I make the full circle to the bathroom.
That's enough for me.
Yeah. Yeah,
It is.
serious. So when it comes to DRIUNE Santana and the culture commentator, what do you want people to feel? What do you want people to know? And what do you want people to remember?
Okay, see, I'm gonna try to remember that.
I got you. Don't worry,
Okay,
I got you.
For me, my mind is a little.
So let's go with DRIUNE Santana for how you and the culture commentator would like to leave people feeling.
I would like to leave people feeling inspired through transparent conversations, real conversations, not something that just feels like I'm just asking you, well, why did you do this? How did you do this? Well, what made you do this? It's like really diving deep into understanding why you did it or what made you really want to be a part of this, or what transition or what was something that happened in your life that just made you feel like I need to get myself together. You know, I was so big on psychology and sociology behavior. So it feels like I'm studying serial killers, but not necessarily. Yeah. But it just makes me feel like that when you just really just dive deep into people's minds and try to understand exactly why they did it. I don't want to make them sound like they got problems or whatever. Yeah. But just really so that it's a way for them to feel comfortable.
Sorry.
And
yeah.
I have to feel like it's just another interview or I'm just speaking to someone else. Like I like to make people laugh. I like to make people feel, sometimes I change my hair. At the Hip Hop Awards, everybody loved my blue and green locks that I had in. Everybody looks. Everybody literally when I pop my camera on the screen, oh, I love your hair. Oh my God, your hair. Just it's just a way to keep that attention on me so that when you remember me, like, oh, you was the girl with the blue hair last. That was me. I might bring it back so that you can remember. But yeah, just everybody just feeling, understanding people's stories transparently and feeling inspired and be able to relate to it and be like, wow, I'm going through something like that right now, and listening to this or reading this, it helped me a lot. I want everything to feel relatable. I want everybody to feel comfortable. I want everybody to know that this is somebody's life, that they wake up every day and they have to go through a lot of different things, probably more than us because of who they are and what they do.
Exactly.
So that's really just how I want people to feel good about it.
So how does DRIUNE Santana and the culture commentator, what do you want people to know?
I want people to know that I'm not like everyone else. I do my own thing, while I may contribute to other people, but I'm really just a normal person. I live my everyday life day to day. I want people to understand that when you come to my platform, there is nothing negative about it. We live in a world where social media tries to tell you who somebody really is when social media is not a real thing. Anybody can post up that they're having the best time of their life and they're really going through the worst.
Exactly.
So I want people to know that when you have DRIUNE Santana and the culture commentator, it really resonates with you. It's real. It's exactly what you get. Like whether they cursing up a storm or yelling at me through the phone, this is real. What you get. So this is it's the honest truth of people, and it's a way for people to know that these people are real. They go through real life things just like us. They bleed the same way. They hurt the same way. They feel all types of things the same exact way. No amount of fame or money in the world can make someone that happy. It doesn't. Maybe some, if you in it for the wrong thing, for the wrong reason. But like it doesn't. So I want people to know that when you come over to see my page, or if you go over to the Culture Commentator page, you hear real conversations, you hear laughter, you hear happiness, you hear just people just explaining why they do things, or what that you hear some people's struggles and how they made it out, and how they make different ways, or how they have people who they may be introverts, and they have someone in their life who pushes them. Exactly. Those are the type of stories or clips that you see on my Instagram that I like to show. I like to show the realness, so that when you want to go watch the interviews, you can kind of get an insight of a little bit like, wow, this would be really interesting to hear or to see.
It's true.
You get to learn about people that you don't see on TV every day.
Exactly. So. And what is TV these days in 2021, right?
Reality, majority
exactly.
None of it is
real. Screen, your TV can be so many other things these days.
So many.
It's a whole different world right now. And the last one was, what do you want people to remember?
When it comes to, DRIUNE Santana, the Culture Commentator, I want people to remember the work that I've done. I want people to remember that I went through a lot of different things just like everybody else did, but I did not let them define who I am. Like I said, I don't attach myself to the bad things that happen to me in my life. I only want to attach to the good. The only time I learn about the different things or the bad things in my life is if I tell you, or at my funeral, and then I put it in my obituary.
You're having a turned up funeral.
You're gonna learn a lot. You're gonna learn a lot of things about me. I'm create my own little documentary or something. Let you know about the real me that people do not know about. Yeah. So that's something that I want people to remember, that I don't attach negativity, the bad things in my life, to who I am today. They may have helped me to be who I am today, but it never made me who I am today.
I love it all. Thank you, DRIUNE. Like, I truly, queen, I just want to see you win. I know I'm going to see you win. I know I'm going to see you flourish. And I'm just here to cheer you on and support you, and just, why not? When I was younger, I wish I knew so many women like yourself, even sometimes like myself, where it was just like, okay, this is happening. Like, I could see where I could fit and where I can go, where I can, I didn't have that growing up. A lot of this, I'd say the closest, maybe sometimes when we see Angie Martinez or like Free, 106 in Park, like certain staple women in the industry, of course, Queen MC Light, like, no slight to anyone, but on the Canadian side of things, or just the media aspect, really putting names to those faces, I feel like a lot of us are creating our own tables, and the meals are full and beautiful, and the plate settings and everything is immaculate. And I'm excited to just see what everyone's coming out with, because E-News in those places, it ain't like back in the day when y'all could dominate. No. You guys got some competition now. So
they definitely do.
You guys, but you guys got some competition now. So you got the Culture Commentator. Think about, okay, IE. A little Toronto lingo for you. So I really I truly, truly, truly thank you today for this conversation, DRIUNE. Like, I made so many notes selfishly for myself as well, to just be like, this is what I need. Like, girl, if you only knew the week that I had. And a lot of the times, as I say to everyone, these conversations that we're having, even sometimes the things that may come out of my mouth, I am not speaking on or to anyone. I'm speaking to myself majority of the times. Like I surprise myself sometimes with the things that will come out of my mouth. But you know, it's just we need each other. We need to know that we are not alone. We need to not beat up ourselves and know that it is okay to be limitless, to find our voice. We need to push through it. Like there's so many keys you're giving away. But you know, we gotta keep going. And if it's not working, take a different route, but don't change the destination. Like you got it. You got it. Now I want you, oh no. There's a random question that I like to ask everyone.
I love the random questions. It's like putting your hand in a bowl of bowl.
The bowl is definitely my head, for sure. For sure. Now, and I don't want people watching and be like, you didn't ask her this, and you asked her. Okay, so that's what you know. You watch Nardwuar. There's certain things here at downtown I cannot let just skim by. Okay, so I'm gonna give you this. Would you rather? You know, no judgment zone. Safe space. Safe space.
Okay.
And if you really don't want to answer, you are not pressured to. All right.
Well, I'm a daredevil. Let's go.
All right. So you have either you chop off both of your thumbs or a baby's foot. Which one are you choosing, DRIUNE? You do not know this baby. You either first, before you answer this, I want you to try and pick up your phone without your thumbs.
Try to pick up my phone without my thumbs? I mean, I can do this, right?
You're gonna be scooping for the rest of your
I can use like my pinky or whatever. Or use like my index finger. That works.
You are definitely using your thumb to guide.
Sitting here like this all day, like just tapping on the screen. Like, dang, she ain't got no thumbs. No, I mean, I'm gonna have a hard time trying to lock my phone or whatever. I'm sorry to this baby. The sarcastic me would be like, sorry to this baby. I'm gonna have to cut your foot off. It's okay. You can always. You probably won't need it anyway. Then I'd be like, wow, Santana, you really like this? I'm like, nah, I ain't gonna cut the baby's foot off.
But if I had happened to.
But if I have to do it, my apologies. It's okay.
Respect.
Just don't want any karma to come back to me where one day I lose my foot.
Well, listen.
But then again, I'll be old, so I won't need to move nowhere. Somebody gonna piss me off here.
At this point, I can safely say it's like 99% of the guests that I ask say, chop off that baby's foot. So shout out Cass. Shout out Cass, my Hawaiian babe, the only 1% that was like, all right, well, I'm not going to chop off the baby's foot. She said she's going to get some bionic thumbs and live her best life.
The baby gets some bionic foot, so it's a win-win situation right now.
She said she can't. She said one person that literally said, hands down, Kate, I can't do it. I can't.
Eyes and just.
I'm sorry, baby. I'm sorry to this baby, but I am that way.
I love babies. I'm a huge kid lover, but on that day, I got work to do. Okay.
Yes.
You will be fine. Won't nobody know that your foot is going.
So, if you look at my personal page, everyone that knows me personally and probably digitally by now, they're beginning to learn that I love my food. I love me some food. Okay? Food is life, all right? Now, I would like to know, DRIUNE, if you could go anywhere in the world, like I don't even care if you saw it one time on TV. If you could go anywhere in the world and eat anything you wanted, where would it be and what would you eat?
Ooh. Now, I love my Dominican roots.
Okay.
I do. I love the food. I really do. However, I'm about to go to Italy because I love pasta. And I can eat all day. I can eat pasta all day, every day. You have no idea. Literally, I don't care where we going as long as pasta is involved. I'm going to a restaurant for the first time, never been, but I saw the menu and they got pasta, so that's what I'm getting. That's just like people who go to restaurants and they get chicken tenders. I get pasta.
I love that.
It has to happen.
And there's not that many ways you can like mess up certain pasta dishes. Oh my gosh, I love Italy. I literally, that is one of the places on my manifestation board. So girl, like, we going to Italy.
I'm going to pasta and give me one of those big pieces that they got there.
Oh, that's what I need in the real oven pizza.
I need to not be eating anything all day just so I can have my appetite just for that pizza. And that I'm going to pig out for real.
No, oh my gosh. I'm with you 1000%. And I made some lasagna yesterday for dinner. And like, it's hitting, it was hitting, but I was like, damn, if that was in Italy, this would be hitting. Not just hitting, but hitting.
I love lasagna. But what's crazy is that I don't eat spaghetti. That's, listen, here's the thing. I don't eat spaghetti, and people always like, how do you eat all of these type of noodles and stuff, but you don't eat spaghetti? And it's like,
you don't eat the Don, the founder of the whole spiel, like the man that said, all right, this is what we gonna do.
It's a pass for me. Pass to the trash. You get the paper plate, hold it over the food and say, this is how I eat spaghetti.
I need to understand why. I'm really like shocked right now.
Like, as a kid, I did eat spaghetti, but it didn't hit me the way that pasta hit me. Like the Alfredo and the fettuccine and all that hit me a lot. That the spaghetti and meatball, it didn't do anything for me. I was like,
wow.
I gotta twirl this stuff around.
You know what?
All getting everywhere. It's a mess. And I'm like, it's just not for me, so there will be no spaghetti made in my house unless my husband wants it. And if he wants that, then great. But at this time, it's not happening.
It's a no for me, sir.
It's a no for me. We're gonna have to pass it on to somebody else.
Listen, when you come to Toronto, because you definitely have to visit over here. I've
never been.
Yes, you have to add that on your list. Toronto, Canada.
It's on my list.
And when you pull up, we are going to go to this restaurant called the Spaghetti Factory because, girl,
really trying to get me eat spaghetti.
No. You can Google it. And you're like, it's not just spaghetti, but yes, I will definitely order a side and be like, girl, you're shoving this in your mouth before we leave this institution of spaghetti. Okay, I'll bring you to the grounds where it goes down. Okay.
Okay, I'm out here in Toronto. I'm out here to explore. So get me on camera and be like, well, we got DRIUNE out here. She's gonna eat spaghetti for the first time in different years in my city. I told her that this is gonna happen. We spoke about it on this day, and it's happening. And I'm like,
I prepare you for it.
One day I'm gonna look back on this and I'm gonna regret everything. So like, why did she?
Don't listen. I guarantee you. Listen, everything that you love in Toronto, then it's so multicultural. Like you can find your home away from home, pretty much somewhere within the city. So when it comes to that, just trust me. I got you. But I know what you mean. Sometimes they make the balls so it's like, just balls sitting in your plate, in your face, like.
First time. God. And the rest like, see, this is why I don't be trying stuff that people be like, but it's raw fish. Like, no, they have it cooked some. I was like, okay.
I know what you're saying.
I got like the basic California roll that everybody.
You didn't like it?
This is not it. I was like, how do y'all eat this?
Oh
this
my gosh.
Nasty. Got no flavor to it or nothing. Like, can I get something to season this up a little bit? you know, or
You
give me
didn't
like a
do
little.
the soy sauce with a little bit of ginger, a little bit of
I didn't.
wasabi.
I just ate whatever my
He
friend.
didn't played you. Like you gotta set it up. You gotta set
They
it
played.
up.
They played me. They set me up for failure. I've been hoodwinked. I feel bamboozled. All of that stuff. Like they played me to just for me to eat that, and I'm like, never again. That was the last time I ate sushi, and I'm never doing it again.
You
Like
gotta set it up right. Like literally, my friends
they ruined it for everyone.
my friends will complain all the time. They'd be like, "You take forever to start eating your food because I gotta get the sauces where they need to be. I gotta mix up what these like I set up the whole thing before it goes down. So don't worry, I got you. I got you. Okay, just give me at least one chance before you say, you know what? Now, no, yeah.
Hey, listen. Now I gave you a chance, and see, this is why now I gotta go on a rant. Like, see, this is why
I will take it. I will.
I don't let nobody throw in suggestions for me when it comes to food. Like, what is this? You paying for it? I'm not spending my money on it. Take it back. It's disgusting. Who hired you? Now I gotta go
take it. I will take that risk because I have full confidence. Now, DRIUNE, I had such like an amazing time with you here today. Thank you for joining Downtown. Don't waste no time with negativity. You gave so many just beautiful inspiration. Your energy just speaks volumes, and I truly appreciate it, Queen. I want you to end out today. Whatever's on your mind, say with your chest. I want you to end out tonight. The floor is yours.
How do I end things out? So I say this: you guys can definitely follow me on Instagram at Santana Muse. Muse, it stands for a lot of different things. I selected that to be a part of my name because somebody took DRIUNE Santana. Like, how do you do that? It's only me. Like, I could go on a rant about that to this day, but I never understood how somebody got my name. Like,
how did you take my name?
Right. It ain't even got no photo up there, no pictures, no nothing. Just a blank. Like, who did?
Hater.
But I would say just follow me on Instagram at Santana Muse. You can follow the Culture Commentator on Instagram, and you can find it on Twitter as well. I have a YouTube channel, the Culture Commentator, where I post like a lot of my interviews and event coverages and stuff. So you're gonna get to see how I interact with other people that I'm interviewing, whether it's like for a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, or maybe 45 minutes. It really depends on where you get at. You never know. But yeah, so something that I will close out with is something that I have taken from one of my favorite artists. I love him so dearly, and hopefully one day we might get married. Who knows? That's in my head. But there was an interview that he did on the Breakfast Club. August Alsina is my husband in my head. I have a boyfriend, but August Alsina is my husband in my head, and he knows that.
Work husband.
Yeah, he knows that. So there was something that he said in his interview that I quote, and I have this video to this day. I will post it, no doubt, and say this is my move. What was it? Oh my God, it just went past my.
Thank you.
But it was like he said that people in the world, don't get flatter yourself. Ain't nobody out here living for you. If you think somebody out here living for you on account of you so you can have something to say, you got the world up. You need to reevaluate yourself. That same quote and video is in my phone to this day, and he hasn't been on a Breakfast Club interview in a very, very long time.
Yeah. And
that is something that resonated with me. It stuck with me. And it's like there are a lot of people who try to tell you and think that what you're doing is for them, and it's not. And if you think that, you need to reevaluate yourself and look at you and start trying to bring down somebody else, because of your negativity or the things that you're going through in your life.
Exactly.
Reevaluate yourself. I use that quote every day, all day, every day. I tell anybody quickly, you need to reevaluate yourself because ain't nobody out here living for you. So that's my go-to quote by my work husband. And that's that.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so, so, so much, Queen. Like, nothing but blessings, and just stay safe during these like uncertain times in the world. But what is for certain is foot on necks, and we ain't stopping, right?
We're not.
We're not. We're not. This
We're
has
gonna
been. No, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, DRIUNE.
No, ride till the wheels fall off. I mean, we about to be rims about to be scraping the ground.
Facts.
Literally.
Facts. And from someone that has actually got their tire bust on the highway before, and I was like, you know what? I don't feel like pulling over quite here, so I'm gonna just push this off.
I know. I mean, I've had my moment where I've rolled my car to the rims fall off and I got fussed at by my dad. So yeah.
It was my car, it was nobody else's. I was like, it is what it is. So this has been another week's episode of Downtown Podcast. Don't waste no time with negativity. I'm your girl Kay. Today we had the journalist DRIUNE Santana, owner and founder of The Culture Commentator, and you can find her everywhere. She said, and in the episode, it will be tagged below, so no worries. And thank you.
Thank you so much, Kay. I really appreciate this.
Thank you. Oh.
About to go downtown.
Downtown K.